Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Adam Wharton asking price slashed as Man United join Liverpool, Real Madrid in transfer race. The 21-year-old has quickly developed a reputation as one of England's promising midfielders since he joined Palace from Blackburn Rovers last summer. Wharton has largely impressed in his 49 competitive appearances for Eagles, leading to speculation over a potential move away from Selhurst Park. Premier League champions Liverpool and Spanish giants Real Madrid have both been mentioned as possible suitors for the Englishman. According to Caught Offside, Man United are also showing a keen interest in prizing Wharton away from Oliver Glasner's side. Man United have placed Wharton high up on their transfer shortlist, with head coach Ruben Amorim said to be a huge admirer of the Palace midfielder. The Eagles would have demanded around £100 million to part ways with Wharton in the recent transfer window, but they could slash their asking price for the January market. The report claims that Wharton could depart for a fee in the region of £60 million in the middle of the season, although there may be some question marks surrounding that figure, considering the player is under contract until the summer of 2029. Man United were fairly active in the summer transfer market, recruiting Matheus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko, Brian Mbeumo, Sen Lamens and Diego Leon. However, they failed in their quest to strengthen their midfield options despite being heavily linked with a move for Brighton and Hove Albion's Carlos Baleba. The Red Devils could revisit their pursuit of Baleba in the winter window, although Brighton's valuation could hamper their hopes of signing the 21-year-old. Man United may view Wharton as a high-quality alternative as they look to add to their midfield options, which currently include Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte. The transfer market is heating up as Adam Wharton's asking price is reportedly slashed, sparking a battle between Liverpool, Man United, and Real Madrid. Newcastle fight to keep their £165 million star from Man City's grip, while Spurs eye a €20 million bargain skipper. Meanwhile, Ashley Williams tips an Arne Slot signing as Liverpool's future, and City target Marc Guehi for 2026. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our second news is at all costs, Newcastle move to tie down vital star to new deal amid insane £165 million Man City links. Newcastle United are now making it a priority to tie down a vital star to a new deal and avoid a repeat of the Alexander Isak saga, amid claims that even an offer worth €200 million would not convince them to sell him to leading suitors Manchester City. The Magpies were left gutted when they were eventually forced to cash in on prized asset Isak, when the Swede's intolerable actions ultimately resulted in him getting the move he had wanted all summer, joining Liverpool in a British record £125 million, €144 million, $167.5 million, transfer. However, it would seem Newcastle, fresh from the loss of their talismanic striker, now face a new battle to retain the services of a top star, with Manchester City understood to be ready to step up their quest to prize Tino Livramento away from St James Park. The fullback has established himself as a regular in the England setup in recent times, and is now regarded as one of the country's premier fullbacks, capable of playing on either flank with some distinction. As a result, Man City are ready to step up their efforts to prize Livramento away from Tyneside in 2026, with Pep Guardiola understood to view him as their top long-term option to fill their right-back void and amid claims the player's head had been turned by interest from the citizens. In light of that, Magpies boss Eddie Howe is understood to have made it clear to club chiefs that the 22-year-old is a player that they cannot afford to lose at any cost, and with the club now ready to open talks over an improved deal for the three-times-capped England international. Per Football Insider, Newcastle are now ready to do all they possibly can to tie him down to a long-term deal, with Howe and the Magpies hierarchy working to secure the fullback down to a lucrative contract that will keep him on Tyneside for the foreseeable future. Indeed, such is his importance to Newcastle, that it was claimed earlier this summer that even an offer worth €200 million £165 million, $225 million, from City would not be enough to convince PIF to sell. Explaining their desperation to keep him, journalist Pete O'Rourke explained, "Obviously, there were links during the summer window that Manchester City were eyeing up a move for Livramento. Now the window's closed, you would imagine, for Newcastle, it's a perfect opportunity to sit down and discuss things with Livramento, and try and tie him down to a new deal. Newcastle will be doing everything they possibly can to try and secure his long-term future, and ensure that he stays at Newcastle for the foreseeable." Howe's influence on Livramento is not lost on the player, either, and that will give Newcastle the belief that the former Chelsea man will commit to a new contract if put before him. Speaking over the summer, the fullback stated, "The manager, I'm in constant contact with him. He has just said to keep focusing on what you're doing now, and you're doing so well. So I think having that relationship with someone who is obviously such a big figure in what I've done so far is an amazing thing for me. I'm very much focused on what I'm doing here now. I don't know anything about that City interest. Being away with the England under-21s is my main priority. I like to stay in the moment and just focus on what I can do to help the team now." Meanwhile, Howe has come clean on the moment his relationship with Isak soured, and having revealed the precise moment he knew a parting of ways would be in the club's best interests. Elsewhere, another Newcastle gem has spoken of his ambitions to reach the very top and having come clean on his ambitions to one day represent Real Madrid. Down at the Etihad, a well-known broadcaster has explained why Manchester City should let Phil Foden go, though Team Talk explains why such a transfer would be a puzzling decision. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our third news is Konate move could be brought forward to January. Konate future linked to Real Madrid amid Rudiger injury concerns. Speculation surrounding Ibrahima Konate's long-term future has never strayed far from the transfer agenda. While talk cooled slightly after the summer window closed, the Liverpool defender remains a figure of interest for Real Madrid, particularly given the uncertainty around Antonio Rudiger's fitness. Madrid's strategy of targeting free agents. Madrid's recruitment model in recent years has often hinged on securing elite players without transfer fees. David Alaba, Rudiger and Kylian Mbappé were all acquired at no cost, strengthening an already formidable squad while keeping resources intact for other signings. Konate's situation falls neatly into that category. The 25-year-old Frenchman, who joined Liverpool in 2020, has yet to commit to fresh terms at Anfield. His contract edges closer to expiry, and should he choose not to extend, he would be free to negotiate a move abroad next summer. For Liverpool, that presents an uncomfortable dilemma. They are dealing with a player regarded as a central part of their defensive structure, while also knowing Real Madrid's track record of striking when contracts run down. Rudiger's recent setback has sharpened the focus on defensive reinforcements. The German centre-back sustained an anterior rectus injury in his left leg and is unlikely to feature until December. With Rudiger turning 33 in March, questions naturally arise over how Madrid plan to secure the long-term stability of their back line. Konate has been touted as an ideal candidate to step into that role. Younger, quicker, and already seasoned in Champions League football, he embodies many of the traits Madrid value when refreshing their squad. Madrid have shown a pattern of moving decisively in similar scenarios. When Dani Carvajal was sidelined for an extended period last year, their pursuit of reinforcements accelerated. An informal inquiry was lodged during the winter, but the deal materialized months later. A comparable approach towards Konate cannot be dismissed. Despite Madrid's potential interest, Liverpool remain reluctant sellers. Releasing a core defender mid-season would be unthinkable without securing a replacement. Yet, the market for central defenders is expected to be active in January. Marc Guehi, also in the final stages of his Crystal Palace contract, has attracted attention from top clubs and could spark movement among elite European sides. Liverpool's challenge is not simply retaining Konate but managing the broader implications of his contract status. A sale in summer 2025 would be preferable to losing him for free, but persuading him to renew remains the priority. Real Madrid, however, have positioned themselves to capitalize if talks stall. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fourth news is Ashley Williams names the Arne Slot signing who will be the future of Liverpool. Arne Slot has strengthened his team for the future following a summer transfer window like no other. Liverpool have taken it upon themselves this window to build a squad that will last for years to come, with over £400 million spent this year in an unusually busy period for the Reds. Their spending spree was made possible by Slot's first season performance, where he won the Premier League title with 4 games to spare. The minimal spending during Jurgen Klopp's reign as manager also played a part, as the number of incomings were usually very low, but this season it has vastly increased. They spread the money across all 3 areas of the pitch, with the attack being bolstered by 2 new deadly faces, a star in midfield in the form of Florian Wirtz, and a strengthening of almost every position in the defense. A failed transfer for Marc Guehi was supposed to complete the backline, but it never materialized for the Crystal Palace captain after deadline day issues scuppered the deal. Ashley Williams eyes Alexander Isak as the future of Liverpool. While it was a disappointment for fans, there is optimism that the deal will be completed next year, which could help with rumors of Real Madrid being confident of securing the £40 million player Ibrahim Konate. However, supporters will be more than happy with the signings made by Slot, especially up front, with the 2 most talented forwards in the world, Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike, ready to become legendary figures at Anfield. The signature of Isak was one of the most important, given the troubles they had trying to secure it in the first place, and when they announced their record signing, it was clear the window was a success for the Merseyside club. Former Everton defender Ashley Williams believes the No. 9 is huge for the side, not just for the short term, but even further ahead. During an interview with Premier League Friday, he broke down just what makes him a nightmare to face as a defender, as he made a guarantee about the star's future. Williams said, "It is going to be a problem for the time that he is on the pitch because he is just that good and he is so different. He is different from the modern-day strikers, different from the old number 9s. He won't back into you, he is very clever." One of the interesting things is that he kind of slows down defenders, and I think he kind of lulls them into a false sense of security, and then he is so sharp. He can do a lot of things. Obviously, Isak is going to be the future of Liverpool. Florian Wirtz will benefit most from the signing of Alexander Isak. It is no secret what the Swedish international brings to the team and what he needs to be able to do, that is service from the midfield area, which is where Wirtz can come in. He has had a tough time in his first appearances as a Liverpool player. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fifth news is Manchester City identify Marc Guehi as top 2026 target. Manchester City have joined other elite clubs in the race for Marc Guehi, who is now widely expected to leave Crystal Palace next summer. According to Football Insider, Manchester City are the latest big-name side to enter the race for Marc Guehi, as the defender represents an opportunistic signing. Liverpool remain the current favourites to land the defender, but there are other competitors, such as Real Madrid and Barcelona, also making their presence felt. Liverpool's failure to land Marc Guehi on deadline day has opened a new can of possibilities for many of the top clubs. The defender does not seem fazed after missing out on a big move to a top club, as he seems destined to leave Crystal Palace next summer when his contract expires. Liverpool are not planning on a winter move and would rather wait until the summer to get him for free. However, there is the big threat of Guehi agreeing a pre-contract with one of the overseas suitors, as Real Madrid and Barcelona are among those interested. Liverpool remain hopeful of signing Marc Guehi, with their groundwork for the failed move likely to play a huge role. They are also hoping that the 25-year-old summer target will want to continue playing in the Premier League, although Real Madrid are prepared to offer lucrative terms to seal a Bosman deal, as they are also angling for a similar move for Ibrahim Konate. Barcelona are also a solid option as they are looking for established names such as Guehi to shore up their back line. Having lost the experience of Íñigo Martínez in the summer, they have not particularly replaced the Spaniard, and Guehi could be a good enough option, especially because he could be achieved for nothing next summer. Manchester City set to enter Marc Guehi race. Manchester City are the latest big-name club to make their presence felt in the Guehi race. The 25-year-old Liverpool summer target is seen as a viable option by Pep Guardiola, considering the England international is a proven performer, apart from the fact that there are some key changes planned to revamp the Manchester City backline. John Stones and Nathan Ake may not have long-term futures, and Marc Guehi could be the ideal replacement for one of those existing stars. Manchester City believe they can make a compelling case to convince the 25-year-old about switching over to the Etihad. While the Crystal Palace star is yet to make a decision, he could have plenty of offers on his table, which could make a Bosman deal worth his time. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is Tottenham could land in-demand Premier League skipper for a cut-price €20 million deal in January. Crystal Palace had agreed a £35 million fee with Liverpool for Marc Guehi, who completed the first part of his medical in hope of the move, but Steve Parish extraordinarily pulled the plug in the 11th hour after failing to land an adequate replacement. The England international was disappointed about his move to Anfield collapsing on the deadline day, but the matter appears to have been settled internally. TalkSport pundit Tony Cascarino recently praised the centre-back's professionalism after his big move to Liverpool did not happen. Guehi will be able to strike a pre-contract agreement with foreign clubs from January 1st as his contract with the Eagles expires at the end of the season. Liverpool are expected to be back for the 25-year-old's signature next year, but we might see new avenues open for the player as well. Tottenham Hotspur-linked Crystal Palace defender Marc Guehi is set to be available for €20 million in January. Tottenham Hotspur target Marc Guehi set to be available for a bargain deal in January. Crystal Palace skipper to be available for cut-price deal in January. Tottenham were among the clubs interested in signing Guehi in the summer, having failed to land him during the January transfer window. The defender's failed Liverpool move should give Spurs an opportunity to test Palace's resolve in the next transfer window. Now, according to a report from Spanish outlet Fichajes, Guehi is set to be available for just €20 million when the transfer window reopens in January. Given his situation, Spanish giants Barcelona and Real Madrid have also entered the mix. At 25, Guehi has established himself as one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. He has been class for England as well and further demonstrated it in the recent international break. A defender of his quality, experience, leadership and international know-how at just €20 million would represent an absolute bargain that neither of the top European clubs would want to miss out on. The report adds Barcelona view the Palace star's addition as a strategic move, with their sporting director Deco working on different formulas to balance the books and find a way to incorporate Guehi into Hansi Flick's squad. Liverpool want him to bolster their backline, while Real Madrid view the Abidjan-born talent as a future alternative. Tottenham Hotspur-linked Crystal Palace defender Marc Guehi is set to be available for €20 million in January. Tottenham must try their best to beat European clubs to the signing of Marc Guehi. Tough deal for Tottenham to pull off. None of the aforementioned European giants would want to miss out on Guehi's services. Whether the trio go for the English central defender in January or wait for him to run down the last year of his contract and potentially sign him on a free transfer in the summer of 2026 remains to be seen.